But what I wanted to begin and address with us today is that relationships at this very moment are changing rapidly. And the romantic relationship is experiencing a complete metamorphosis. It has expectations that are at an all-time high. And most of the time, we are making up the rule book as we go. You know, when you think about it, for most of history, our relationships were dictated by rules, by duty, by obligation. We knew who we were in the village, and also we knew how to relate to people. We knew who we were because we knew who was going to be the breadwinner. We knew who was going to wake up at night to feed the baby. We knew who had the right to demand sex. And we knew how to relate to people because adults knew how to talk to their children, and they didn't need 10 minutes to explain to them why it's important to do their homework. And we knew that children were not going to respond to the adult. A husband knew how to talk to his wife, and a wife knew what not to say to her husband. And things were clear. There was a lot of certainty. Can I do something about that so I don't fall on this? Somebody can help me? It was clear because there were social hierarchies that dictated how we should relate. And there was religion with its strictures, with its incentives and its prohibitions that told us about how we should relate to people. There was plenty of certainty. There was a deep sense of belonging, and there was very little freedom, and the concept of self-expression did not exist particularly much. And in the life that we live today, certainly in the urban centers of the world, we have options and freedom unprecedented to us. But we have very little certainty and a lot of self-doubt, plenty of self-expression, but a constant lack of anchoring, and very little sense of belonging. Rules have been replaced by options. Duties have been replaced by choice. Belonging has been replaced by freedom. And the price we pay is this massive amount of choice, but also everywhere you turn and people talk about relationships, they talk about the crisis of belonging and the public health crisis of loneliness, which has become at this point the #1 crisis in the United States, more than obesity, despite what Tony Robbins said. It's important, but there are other things. You know, and I worked with Tony for 14 years, so I can allow myself. This is a fundamental shift. What does it say for us? It puts us at the center of the most important shift in society, which is that relationships, for the first time, are anything and always all about conversations. At the heart of relationships is conversation. Everything at this moment is up for negotiation. Who is going to be the breadwinner? Who is going to be waking up tomorrow morning? Who's planning the next date? Who's going to initiate sex? It's a big negotiation. How many people do I want to date? And from what gender should they be? Should I move to the East Coast or to the West Coast? And how will I know which is the right decision? Am I happy? Am I happy enough? When will I have children? Do I even want to have children? And it's all of these questions and more that we facilitate. We are the people who create that space for security, for structure, for calmness, for reassurance about conversations that many people have never had